welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I'm back out at a very familiar location that I've been to many times. I've done my hot tent video here. I've done a hot tarp setup that I did last winter here, and I got a different setup this time. Wanted to come back here, got the nice river right behind me, plenty of fresh water. So I got a few items that I want to show to you guys today, and this overnighter trip is actually going to be a test of those 3 items, and we'll get into that in a little bit later on. But right now I've probably got about 2 hours left of sunlight. I got off to a really late start today, so I'm going to go ahead and I got to string the hammock up and get my tarp set up, and then we'll get into what I got with me and how I'm going to test it. And then it's going to be a really quick wood gathering and get the fire lit, because I'm going to be cooking on the fire tonight. So let's go ahead and get the hammock set up. As you can see, I got the hammock set up, I got my tarp set up, and I still have the 2 pegs in the ground right now, actually marked with sticks. So when I go ahead and pull this down for the evening, I have little carabiners on every single tie out and every guy line that I own for all my tents and all my tarps. So the carabiners and lines are in the ground right now. All I have to do is literally pull this down and click it into the carabiner over there, and then on the 2 ends. So I'll be all cocooned in, nice, got some doors. I have some string lights that I'm gonna hang all the way across the ridge on the inside of the tarp. So we'll have light inside. I'll have the ground area here for my canister stove, coffee in the morning, all that fun stuff. But for now, still kind of in a hurry because it is getting dark and I need firewood. So I want to go ahead and show you the products that I have that I'm going to be testing this evening, and I'll go ahead and very quickly explain how that's going to go. So here is what I'm going to be testing out and having some fun with tonight. These are all Onetigris underquilts. And you guys know how I'm a big fan of Onetigris gear. I love it, and I got a lot of it. So these are their 3 synthetic underquilts that they offer. And seeing that we're in a hurry, I'm probably not going to go through all the details of them right now. I'll probably save that for tomorrow. But real quick, I'll show you. Here we have the Onetigris single underquilt. Very, very nice. Very familiar with this guy. Here we have the Onetigris. You gotta check what I wrote here. I had to write on them with permanent marker because I had no idea what was what. So this is the Onetigris double underquilt. Same thing as this guy, basically. It just has a strip sewn in the bottom that's about 2.5 feet wide to widen the quilt. So this is a double, this is a single. Give you guys kind of a size comparison of the 2 in the stuff sacks. And these things go incredibly small. I mean, I don't have them cinched down at all right yet. But you kind of get the idea of how small these things can go. So this is the single, this is the double. And this guy right here is the Onetigris winter underquilt. So this guy is supposed to get you down a little bit colder. This thing is massive, huge. I've had this on my king size bed, and if you guys are on my Instagram, you probably would have seen some of the photos. This thing, my king size bed, it was edge to edge on the mattress from the head all the way to the foot end, and then it hung off my mattress, off my bed by about 2 feet. So this thing has so many multi-purpose uses: a blanket, a top quilt, a sleeping bag, all kinds of things. So this is the winter, this is the double, this is the single. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to do this today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hang each underquilt individually by themselves, give you guys a look, and then I'll explain how the testing is going to go. All right, so first we'll go ahead with the single underquilt. Going to go ahead and undo all these straps. So here we go. We got the Onetigris single underquilt, branding right there. Got the shock cord on one end, shock cord on the other end. Going to go ahead and string it up and show you guys what it looks like. Real simple setup. Take my shock cord, I click it into my main carabiner. Bring it all the way to the other end. And we're going to click it in to the other carabiner. Go ahead and show you guys how these secure. They do actually come with small black carabiners that can clip on. My carabiner's up so far from my hammock anyway, so I just click it into my main carabiner. So this is what I'm talking about right here. Get my hand out of the way. I've got the strap. You can double it up or you can use it single cord. So right now if I double up the cord, I can pull it tighter. And I just come around here and I click it just like that right into my main carabiner system on my hammock. So here you guys can see I got loads of room underneath, and my hammock is suspended in here. Now when you set these up, you'll have to adjust for how low your quilt sags, just like any other quilt. Once I get my weight inside of the hammock, I'll sink down. So that's why I was saying sometimes you double up the shock cord or sometimes you use it single. Right now the shock cord at this end is doubled and the shock cord at the other end is single, just to give it a little bit of play. And you could also bring them in closer or out farther and whatnot to really dial in where it hangs. So I think that's perfect actually. Got good coverage down there. Go ahead and kick my shoes off and lay back. Whew. I'm actually pretty comfortable right now. I'm surprised at how well that went up. Perfect. First time. First try. Usually when I set up my hammock, I gotta adjust the quilt up and down and forwards and backwards. That went on right away. Yep, I think that's a pretty good fit. So you can see my head's up right now, but my shoulders are down in my hammock. And this comes up right on top of me nicely, so I'm getting good shoulder coverage. Way up to the end behind my head, because this is my head end, that's my foot end. So realistically, I should probably shimmy up here. So this is how I would be sleeping in the hammock with a sweater behind my head for a pillow. But if I lay back completely, this is what you guys see. I can already feel the heat building underneath me, actually, believe it or not. And the reason why I chose this location is because it's got the river, it's open, a lot of wind comes through here because all these leaves have fallen off the trees, and you get a really cold damp air that comes right off the water. So I figured this would be an excellent spot to test these. And I gotta say, I don't really want to get up right now because I'm actually feeling pretty warm. Right on. All right, so moving along, here we have the double underquilt, and basically the same design as the single, except I can actually wear it kind of like a blanket. This right here is the center portion that they've stitched in, and these are the two sides. So that's kind of how they made it into a double. This thing is also very large. As you can see, I'm standing, I'm 5'7". If I pull this up, you can actually wear it as a top quilt. So you don't just have to use it as an underquilt. And I'll go ahead and give you guys a little spin here if I could bite onto this and kind of secure it. So another little kind of use for this guy is a really nice top quilt. So I'll go ahead, string this guy up, get him on the hammock, and let's have a look at it. Same deal as last time, just running the shock cords to either end of the hammock, under the hammock. Okay, so here you can see, this is a perfect example to show you guys what I was talking about with the shock cords. So right now, all of these shock cords, when they come, they're tied with an overhand loop, overhand knot, so you can move that knot forwards and backwards to increase the loop of the shock cord or decrease it. So right now is a perfect example. I've only got the shock cord one layer on both ends, and you can see the quilt's way underneath the hammock. So what I want to go ahead and do is I want to double the shock cord on the foot end. I'm going to pull it up, click it into itself. Already doing that, you can see how much higher that brought the quilt up. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing up here, and I'll show you, I'll give you a close-up of what I'm doing. Alright, so here we got the shock cord, and what I mean by single is it's just looped in the carabiner one time. Now if I come down to where it's actually hooked into the underquilt, I could stretch that to double it and then lock it in. So now I've got double strand of shock cord coming off of each tab on the quilt. Okay, I think I got this hung properly. Keep in mind this is a single hammock I'm using, and this is a double underquilt. So you really need a double quilt with two people in it to really get it to spread and give it the proper form. But we got it set up to the point where I can get in it. So go ahead and jump in, make sure I'm in the hammock. And not just the quilt, because that would suck. Alright. In the hammock. Hopefully that, oh yeah, well, we're hung good. Go ahead and kick my feet up. Take my shoes off, actually. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Alright. Okay. This is pretty nice, actually. So, just like the other quilt, this guy comes up much higher where it's a lot wider. And underneath, I got loads of sag. So I put my hand in under the hammock and kind of put it on my butt. I can feel how much sag is underneath of me. If it's too much, your body won't be able to heat that cavity of air and you'll freeze. And if it's too little, so if I were to pull this up really tight, it's really thin, you're gonna freeze again. So you want just, I usually go for 2 to 3 inches below my butt, and that I stay warm all night. So this is actually pretty nice. Oh yeah. Okay, I can feel the heat coming up from underneath my back already. So that's a good sign. I can feel it on my butt now. And it really doesn't take long for the heat to really... I know some people, if you're not a hammock camper, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But once you're in a hammock in a cold environment with a quilt under you, you can feel the heat pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and pack this guy up, get it off camera, and let's go grab the winter underquilt, because that's the one that I'm really interested in seeing. Let's go ahead and get that on the hammock and see how it performs. Alright guys, so here we are with the winter version. So this is actually the same size as the double underquilt that I had up on here as far as stuff sack size goes. It packs down the same way. This guy is a beast. Go ahead and pull them out. Stuff sack over there. So I'm gonna try, hold on to the very end, all the way up in the sky, and there's still 2 feet on the ground. This thing's monstrous. So this guy is basically a huge rectangle. The cords are up here on the ends, so you can see how it starts to cinch up like an underquilt. So let's go ahead and get these lines set up for the length of my hammock, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright guys, here's the winter hammock underquilt, and you can see right off the bat it has a little bit of a different design. Now I didn't go ahead and do a close-up of the double quilt because it's essentially the same thing as the single. This guy is very, very different. So notice that there's these little holes where the shock cord kind of bounces out, and they're on both sides, and it runs all the way down, and then it pops out again and again. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So it pops out 4 times per side. Now this thing is very fluffy. I'm not sure the purpose of this. I don't know. I'm not totally sure with that. I have an idea, but I'm not gonna say anything about it now. I'm gonna test it out and play with it, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But for now, let's go ahead and let's climb inside of it and see how it is. Shoes off. So it still comes up quite high the way I have it set up, which is very nice. Always look for that in an underquilt, to have this come really high. Check to see where I'm at. It's actually really nice. This shock cord runs the whole length of the quilt. In the other 2 quilts that I had up, the shock cord is only at the end. So there's only about this much shock cord at the end and at the end. This is one continuous, probably about a 12-foot section all the way around the loop of the hammock of shock cord. So what that means is you could push down on it. See what I'm doing? So this whole thing, you can push down. The reason why that's important, if your quilt's pitched too tight, like the other ones that I had, you'll sandwich the bottom up against your bum like that. So you can see how tight that is. My butt. Now you can see how tight the quilt is. Okay? Now, if that happens, you're gonna freeze. What this has is almost a self-adjusting automatically kind of mechanism, if you will. If I'm sitting in it, this will droop automatically, so it's never too tight up against my back, which is very cool. I like that. So I'm gonna go ahead, lay down, put my head in, and see, I can feel the heat building right now, but I'm gonna lay my head down and see if I can feel it on my back. Oh yeah, I can feel it in my hands under. Oh yeah, I really do like that. Now I totally get what's going on here with the continuous shock cord. It moves with you up and down. So if I shift in the hammock up higher, I'm not going to have the hammock or the quilt tight on me. The quilt's actually going to drop down and automatically adjust itself, which is very cool. Still got very nice face guard from all the wind. And it's got quite a bit of loft. All of them do, really. All right. This guy is warm, for sure. They're all warm, but you can feel this one build quicker, and it's actually getting hotter. So that's cool. One possible thing with these loops as well is, I guess if you had a carabiner, you could clip that, and kind of have a cocoon as well. I'm still not 100% unsure what these little loops are for, but I will play around and we'll see. I really like this. This is a nice one. They're all very nice. Cool. So I'm going to jump out and I'm going to go ahead and throw these back in. Well, I'll probably just throw them in the hammock for now and get them out of the way. But I'm going to explain how this is going to work. Actually, no, sorry, I lied. I have one more piece of gear. We'll go ahead and get that out right now. Let's leave this up. I want to grab the other piece of gear. All right, so final piece of gear to tie this system together. Another Onetigris product. This is the Nordic Down Defender sleeping bag. This is advertised as -15 down, so it's not synthetic. We're going to go ahead, and this is going to be our top quilt slash sleeping bag for inside the hammock. So I'll go ahead and undo this, give you guys a quick preview of it. I'm not going to be doing a review of this in this video. The review on the products is mainly going to be on the quilts and how well they perform, because this evening it's supposed to get down to about -5 degrees Celsius. Being on this river and all the cool air kicking off, it's going to probably feel a lot colder. So this video is on the quilts, but I am going to be using this. So let's go ahead, open this bad boy up. We can get there we go. And let's give it a quick loft and throw it in the hammock. I love the color of this gear. I absolutely love it. My tarp, my quilts, my backpack, everything right now is green or olive drab, other than my hammock. But this is a dope setup. I really, really like it. Love the colors. All right, so I got the Onetigris down sleeping bag inside. It's fairly lofted. Go ahead, unzip this guy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lay in it just for a minute and give it a quick little test. Now, I do have top quilt, but I'm essentially going to use this as my top quilt. I'm not actually going to get inside and zip it up. I'm just going to get inside, put my feet in the foot box, and then pull it up. So I'm going to actually move it out of the way. Whew. Man, it's going to be warm tonight. All right, I could actually put the hood behind my head and use it as a pillow. All right, so situated here, the hammock shuffle. All right, there we go. Oh, this is going to be super comfortable. Oh man. This is going to be awesome. Oh wow. I can feel the heat building in the bag instantly. Instantly the down's taking on heat. Underneath me is warming up from the quilts. This is going to be pretty sweet. So I'm going to jump out before I get too comfortable, and I'm going to zip the bag up so no moisture gets inside of it while we're out here. I'll just leave it laying in the hammock, and I'll talk to you guys about how this testing is going to work. Alright, so basically how this testing is going to work, because I got 3 underquilts, plus I got the down bag. Now, like I said, the down bag I'm using as a top quilt. That's not part of this video, that's another piece of gear. So what I'm going to do, like I said, it's going to get down to about -5, the cold air kicking off. I can already feel it getting a little damp. So I'm going to close my tarp. So the sides are going to be all down, the doors are going to be shut, we're all going to be buttoned up in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alarm on my phone, and I'm going to basically sleep in each underquilt for 4 hours. So I'm going to start off with the warmest quilt, with the one that's on there right now. That's the winter quilt. Then I'm going to go to the double underquilt, do that for 4 hours, and then I'm going to switch to the single underquilt. And the reason why I'm going to do the warmest first is because my body's already going to be warm. I was just active before I go to bed, so I'm going to try and use the warm quilt first and purposely try and basically fail the system. So I'm going to end up with the lightest quilt when my body's probably starving for heat and want food because it's getting close to morning. So if anything, if it doesn't work, I'll freeze for the last 4 hours. I know that sounds a little crazy, but I think that's the perfect way to test it. Yeah, so I'm going to start with the winter underquilt with my tarp all buttoned up for 4 hours inside of the down bag, and then I'm going to wake up and I'm going to put them underneath the hammock so I won't have to get out of the tarp and do all that. But what I'll do is I'll unsnap the winter underquilt, I'll drop it down on the ground, and I'll hook up the double and I'll jump back in and go to bed for 4 hours. And then repeat, get up 4 hours later, unhook that, drop it down on the ground, grab the single, hook it on, go back to sleep. And I'm going to basically test and see if I wake up. Am I cold? Do I notice any kind of a difference between them? Do they work? Excuse me. Do they work? Yum. Got a cold. Do they work or do they not? Or are they good for this temperature, or are they good for a different temperature? So that's what the video is basically going to be about. But we're out here for the night, so I got some great camp food that I'm going to be cooking. I got some awesome beer. We got a great view. So one thing we need is firewood. So that's how we're going to be doing the testing. 4 hours for each quilt, as I already said. And I'm basically going to go get firewood right now and get the fire area set up. I believe I'm going to do it over here like I did last winter when I was out here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I was going to say I might do it here, but my tarp's there and that's not going to work good. So we'll do the fire over here. I got my camp chair. I'll get that set up. We're going to get water out of the river to cook with. So let's go and do some camp chores. Okay, one thing really quick before I go and get firewood. This is funny. I was moving the stuff around camp and I was like, you know what? I got 3 awesome underquilts. What would it be like if I put all of them on the hammock at the same time? Check this out. This is the winter. This is the double. This is the single hammock down bag. That is a beast of a hammock setup. My God, that's gotta be hot. That's gotta be super warm. Okay guys, so with this interesting development of thought, I have to try this. I have to. I literally just sat down on this and I can already feel the heat just baking underneath me. And I know people are probably sitting at home going, hey, you got 3, try all 3. We're gonna mix it up here. So I'm still aiming for 12-hour sleep. 12-hour hammock time, I should say. So we were gonna do 4 hours with the quilt. So 4, 4, 8, 12. I got a really annoying airplane flying over right now, but whatever. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it back to 3 hours of each setup. So we're still gonna start with the warmest. We're gonna start with all 3 quilts at the same time. So we're gonna do the winter on the outside, the double next, and then the single right up against me. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get out and I'm going to disconnect the single and the double and just use the winter, and then so on. So after the next 3 hours, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna disconnect the single and only use the double, and then I'm gonna use only the single. And then in the morning, I'll let you guys know how I was for each stage of testing. It's gonna be warm. Let's get some firewood. Alright guys, so got some firewood. I've been off camera for about an hour now. I put the camera inside the hammock and started charging the battery, and I've been out just collecting a load of firewood. So I got loads of spruce and pine limbs that are over there, and that stuff's seasoned for like a year or two. It's super dry. I got this big section here, the spruce tree, that I'm using as a backdrop for my fire lay. I also have a 4-foot section of that and then an 8-foot section off camera. And that was a giant tree that was just behind my hammock. I ended up pushing it over, came down no problem. It's super punky, so I think it'll burn really well. So taking a little bit of a break right now. Cracked into a Deception IPA, Catamagush Brewing. Excellent beer. Still got quite a bit of a cough, so trying to talk through that. Pull my hood up, get a lot of this damp air behind me from the river. So, sitting on the riverbank again. You guys have seen me here many times with a blazing fire, cold beer. Doing it again. This time we got a hammock, no hot tent, no tarp set up. We're in a hot hammock, and that thing's gonna be blistering. I keep walking past that, looking at all those quilts hung at the same time. That's gonna be hot. It's gonna be cozy. So I'm gonna sip on this beer, and I gotta cook on the fire tonight. So I brought some hamburgers, I got my frying pan, stuff like that. So we'll get this burning rather soon and get a good cold base so I can get my frying pan on there and start doing a bit of cooking. So for now, for I don't know, 10 minutes, I'm just gonna kind of kick back, sip on my beer, listen to the river, and kind of relax for a few minutes. Whew. Feel the heat coming off that fire. Alright, so fire took off pretty quick, and I'm gonna let it burn a ring of leaves, because there's a lot of leaves kind of laying down here on the ground. So I'm gonna let it creep out, do its thing, burn up what it needs to burn up, and then extinguish it, stomp on it with my feet and whatnot. And when that burns down, I'm gonna go ahead and get my hamburgers on the fire in the frying pan, and cook some supper up because I am starving. Really hungry. And I'm not really one for doing like, sorry, excuse me. I'm not one for doing elaborate cooking in the dark. I like kind of being able to see everything and know where everything is. So we'll get all the messy stuff cooked up rather early, and then we'll just snack on a few light snacks later on in the evening. So gonna enjoy my beer for a few more minutes, let that burn down like I said, and it's gonna be supper time. And that's nice. All right, got a few food items here. Got my kitchen knife, 2 hamburger buns. Go ahead and set these on this piece of hardwood here to warm up. I smushed them down on purpose in my backpack so they'd fit, so no, they're not smushed by accident. Well, set those on that log on either end to kind of warm up and lightly toast for now. So I got half a white onion here. Go ahead and peel back the skin. Like a lot of onion on my burgers. So we'll do that. I got some bok choy leaves. Go ahead and put one on each burger. Trim up the stem a little bit so it fits. That'll add a nice little crunch and snap. So we got our onion sliced. Set that down. Got a bit of mustard in this container. These guys are awesome, by the way. And I got 2 hamburger patties in a Ziploc bag. So, oh, and I got my gloves. Leather gloves for cooking on the fire. And, can't forget the beer. All right, let's get into this. Now, these being pre-made patties, they're just quick and simple to grab. You know, that's why I got it. But to make them special, I brought my spice kit. So what we're gonna do with this guy is garlic powder, I like a lot of garlic powder, black peppercorn I'm going to add once it starts bubbling so it really sticks and soaks in, and got Italian seasoning as well. So I'm going to hold off on the pepper for now, like I said. Get it cooking. That's already sizzling real good. So we'll let that do its thing. And once I give it a flip and it's really bubbling, then I'll go ahead and add more garlic, Italian seasoning, and black peppercorn. And I'm going to leave my onion and bok choy leaves raw because I want that crunchy snap. And the buns will be nice and toasted. A little bit of mustard. Bam! And cheese. Cheese. Sorry, I forgot the cheese. I do have cheese. All right. Oh, yeah. We'll let this guy fry up a little bit more and enjoy our first burger. And then we'll have another. Gonna go ahead and say hamburger number 1 is ready. Getting hot over here. Really hot. Alright, get my my bok choy. Bok choy on the bottom. Do some onion on the bottom. The patty on top with the cheese. Oh yes. And a dab of that mustard. That looks awesome. go ahead and give it some more black pepper because, you know, why not? Oh yeah. Mmm. Oh man. That is so crispy and charred and fresh. And honestly, and I'm not a sports guy, I immediately think of like baseball for some reason. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, buddy. Oh yeah. Mm. Oh man. All right, so supper is all done. Man, that was good. That was really good for pretty basic burgers. Man, those things cooked really, really nice. Awesome char, awesome crisp, great flavor. I'm gonna have to do that more. That was really cool. I like that. Basic burgers, real nice and simple. So, as you can see, it's getting pretty dark out. I got a pot of water on the fire right now, boiling. That's out of the river. So I'm gonna boil that up, and then I'm gonna place it underneath my hammock, let it cool. So in the morning I can roll over. I did bring my canister stove, but there's maybe 10 minutes of like burning time left in it. There's basically nothing left in the canister. So I brought it just to use up the leftover gas to basically make coffee and oatmeal, and that's it. So I'll have the water in the morning for that. I can roll over in the hammock, spark up the stove, make the coffee, make some oatmeal. Come on out here, and I got some great breakfast food as well. So we'll cook that up and hang out and see what happens throughout the day, basically. But for tonight, I'm basically just going to relax. I'm going to kick back next to the fire. And I haven't been on a solo trip since my son was born. So for those of you who don't know, my girlfriend did give birth to our new son. So we got a little baby boy, Jasper. And I've been busy. I've been at home busy. Not gonna lie, it's a lot of work. And my girlfriend's doing well, so she's up and getting around. So I haven't been out on a solo trip since. So this is the first one. So I'm gonna take some time and gotta do a little bit of thinking, relaxing. Sitting next to the water always helps. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm not gonna drag it out. I'm gonna kick back by the fire, might get a few shots here and there, maybe a bit of night photography, I'm not totally sure. And we'll see where the night takes us. Alright guys, I'm not sure if the camera is picking up right now, but it is full on raining. I don't know, it almost looks a bit like sleet snow. It's really not picking up. I'm sitting right next to the fire, so it's probably melting as it comes close to me, but I'm looking through my headlamp at my tarp over there, trying to autofocus here, and yeah, I'm not sure if it's picking up at all, but it is raining. The tarp over there is soaked. So I think we're going to say bye-bye to the fire, and we're going to jump inside of the hammock. So, as you can see, we're in the hammock. Got my string lights on, working awesome. Battery bank kind of tucked in under my bum in the underquilt, staying nice and warm. I don't really know what else to say. It's raining. So the tarp right now is actually resting on the camera and the microphone, so I hope it's not rubbing and muffling and all that stuff. So we'll try and keep this short. So you guys got a really good look at the interior of the hammock right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch over to the action camera. The exposure may be a little bit darker, I'm not totally sure, but we're going to go ahead and switch over to the camera, give a bit of a wider field of view, and crappier audio. Maybe. Let's go ahead and switch over so you guys can see a little bit more. We got all three quilts on right now, and I'm I'm kind of laughing. I'm literally laughing, actually. Off camera, while I was setting it up and doing stuff, I was sitting here laughing to myself at how warm it was. I was sitting here like, oh, my hands are cold, I'm cold, and I was like, wait a minute. My butt is burning hot. And then I laid down, and I was like, holy crap. It is hot. It is hot. These underquilts are working like a champ, I gotta say. Now I got three on right now. I got the winter, the double, and the single. We're gonna strip them down, like I said earlier, and we're gonna do one at a time. And I'm gonna let you guys know in the morning how I felt. And you'll know. You will know if I wake up groggy and cranky. That'll be a good sign that it didn't work. Enough to wake up cheerful, and I got coffee in hand. You'll know it worked out great. So, peace out, and I will see you guys in the morning unless I come back with something special. See you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Just waking up right now. Whew. And it poured with rain last night. And it is windy. Man, the wind was coming through here like crazy. Still raining out a little bit. Stayed really hot, really dry. And I slept really good. So I did do the quilts every 3 hours. Right now I'm back to all three on here right now, if you can see that. So everything worked really well. Really well. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but right now it's coffee time. I need coffee. Alright, so went ahead and made my tarp modifications right off the bat instead of doing coffee. I figured it'd be a lot easier to film this way rather than trying to sneak under with the camera and tripod and all that stuff. So it's pretty much stopped raining. I mean, there's a little drip drops here and there, but I think we're pretty good for the rain being done. So I'm gonna go ahead. There's spiders all over my jacket for some reason. Go ahead and throw this in my chair. Alright, so last night I slept like a baby, and it was really hard to wake up because I did the every 3 hours wake up and strip down a quilt and so on. So I did somehow manage to stay true to that. That was pretty rough getting up the second time though. All 3 quilts, like I pretty much imagined, was way too hot. I broke out in a sweat. I checked the phone last night and it said -4 in the area that I was at. So it was pretty chilly, and I purposely pitched my tarp so I was flying my shelter essentially. So my tarp was about 6 inches off the ground and the doors were open about 4 inches. So I had wind coming in, and I even felt it on my face at one point, and I went ahead and pulled up the quilts to make that tunnel effect like I showed you guys yesterday, and it blocked all the wind and I was sweating like crazy. So it got windy, it rained like crazy, the hammock was rocking. This tree over here must have been blowing in the wind because my hammock was going up and down and I could feel it. So it got pretty nasty out. When I stripped down to just the winter quilt at the first switch off, just this guy, outer winter quilt. And guys, I'm going to throw up the names for all of these quilts in the description of the video, the actual legit name, because I don't have it in my head right now, but we got the winter, the double, and the single. So I'll put winter, and then I'll put the actual name of it, and then I'll put double, and then the actual name of it, so you guys can search for these on Amazon or Onetigris.com or wherever if you guys aren't interested in them. Just right now, I don't have, I can't remember the names. So I stripped down to the outer quilt, and I was still very warm, very warm. So that performed very well. And then I switched to just the double quilt. Same thing. I didn't really notice any temperature change. Still quite warm. Didn't get cold at all. And then I switched to the single. The single, which would have been closer to the time right now, to when I woke up, because that's the only quilt I had on me when I woke up, and then I got out and hooked them all back up to warm back up. So when I went down to just the single quilt, I did notice a bit of a chill, but I wasn't cold. Like I could have fell back asleep if I wanted to, but I did notice a little bit of a shiver. So they all performed very well. And like I said, it was -4, -3 area. And the stuff sacks on these guys say that they're rated for +5 to +20 Celsius. So definitely out of the range of use, of recommended use. And they perform very well. I gotta say, I really like them. I can feel my butt right now burning because I'm sitting in all of them. So I had a great sleep with these guys. The temperature outside right now, I haven't checked my phone, but it's definitely, I'd say probably 5 degrees, +5 degrees. So it's not terribly cold. Nice sweater weather and a toque and whatnot. But last night it got windy, like I was saying. It was windy. This hammock was rocking back and forth. So I've got some fresh cut bacon here. I've also got some chunks of salami meat that I'm going to fry up. And this is going to be one awesome breakfast. Try and get all these guys in here at once. Hello, casualty. Still good, still good. Bag off to the side for now. All right, breakfast is all cooked up. I got some mustard left over from last night for my burgers. So, use that for my fried bits of salami here. Oh wow. Hot. So, breakfast from the hammock. Can't go wrong with that. All right, well, I'm gonna kick back, eat breakfast, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm done, and we'll get over there, light the fire, and yeah, we'll continue on with our day. All right, pretty hot. Whew. Hot next to this fire, I tell you. Let that burn down a little bit. But right now, what I'm doing, I got my spice pouch, a couple beef bouillon cubes. Ow, that's hot. I brought a container full of fresh vegetables and some pasta. So I'm gonna go ahead and make quite a large hearty soup, really. And gonna let it cook over the fire for quite a while. I got my pot of water right here already. So I'm gonna go ahead and process my greens. And I'm gonna set everything back into the container. I'll probably do one bok choy bushel there for now, because I'm not sure how much is going to fit in here. So we've got white onion, I've got some garlic cloves, carrot, pasta, spices, all that good stuff is going to go into here. My soup's all cooked. That's off the fire now. Just been sipping on it and taking a few bites out of it. Still extremely hot, so went ahead and threw my sleeping bag up top there to kind of dry that out a little bit. Make some room in the hammock, because that thing's a beast. It takes up a lot of room. Yeah, just kind of chilling out. Super quiet day today. Not a whole lot of wildlife kicking around, excuse me. Fire's still crackling in the background there. I threw a couple pieces of wood on there and let that smolder away. But yeah, it's fairly quiet. Nice cloudy, kind of drizzly day. A little bit of rain off and on, but keep a close eye on that, because if it does start to pour, I'm gonna have to get the bag and my sweater and everything back under the tarp. But for now, I think we're gonna be pretty comfortable to just kind of kick back and relax and enjoy the sounds and enjoy my soup, because that tastes awesome. So I'm gonna enjoy drinking that, and just gonna have some relaxed time, and I might lay back and not take a nap, but I might just kind of doze off and, you know, relax for a minute. All right, so had a little bit of relaxed time in the hammock, which was really needed. Got to lay back and really soak in the heat and listen to the water. Fire died out. I just threw a couple pieces on there now to get a little bit of a flame back. And I had a really great time this trip. I did, I really did. I needed that solo trip. I haven't been out on a solo trip, like I think I was saying yesterday, since my girlfriend gave birth to our new son, Jasper. I've been asked a number of times by a lot of people over the last year or two with my photos and stuff, but really been asked a lot within the last 3 months, do I have a book? And the answer is no, I don't have a book. I'm on YouTube right here, and I do all my photography that I put on my Instagram. So I've never really put any thought into writing a book until these people started asking me, like, where can I get any kind of literature of your trips? Because there's a lot of people that watch YouTube and don't read, but there's also a lot of people that do the opposite, right? So I'm not really a reader myself, but there's a lot of people that go out in the bush and, like, even just hiking or backpacking, and at nighttime in their tent, they're reading a book. So I'd really like to be able to share all of my adventures, and I don't mean like every adventure, I mean all of the trip, because what you're seeing in my videos is only 10% of the trip. I mean, realistically, if I filmed everything, it would be a 4 or 5 hour video. And that's just ridiculous. So I would really like to share my entire trip of what I see, what I hear, what I feel, you know, like how cold it is in the mornings. You know, like in the wintertime, my favorite thing is listening to the chickadees bounce from treetop to treetop. And when you get that frosty snow, you can actually hear the snow bouncing through the spruce needles all the way down. And just those kind of things that can't really fully portray in video. You know, you gotta, I think it would come out better if you were to read it rather than watch it. So I've been putting a bit of thought into it, and I think, like, I wouldn't be able to write a book, like a 400 or 500 page book on one topic. I just, my focus would be gone. But I've been thinking that maybe if I do a journal type book and do like a trip log, so maybe on my camping trips I would, at nighttime when the camera's off, I would sit down and just start writing for an hour or two, and keep a journal, and then take that journal and maybe put it into a novel and do like each chapter is a different adventure. So if I did go ahead with doing that, I'd be really interested to see how many people would actually be interested in it and how many people would just say no, don't bother, because it's a project that'll probably take a year or more to go on certain trips, and then not only film and document it through video and photos, but also do a journal and really write down and really capture the entire trip, all of it, in a book. So just an idea I've been playing with. I've been, like I said, I've been asked about it a lot lately, and I want to have a long-term goal. I want something that I can really work forwards to and be able to enjoy and share. So let me know what you guys think about that. I don't want to go on about it too much, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's getting a little late in the day now. My little relax session was longer than anticipated, but I'm not staying again tonight. I do have to pack up and I do have to get out of here. So, and I can feel a couple raindrops actually just starting to fall. So maybe what I'm going to do now is, I got about an hour, so I got a few dishes that I need to clean up and a few other things to do. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pack up the entire shelter and get everything kind of organized and in my pack, and then whew, that's hot, and then when it does come time to go, I can kind of wrap things up without being in a rush. All right, let's go do that, and I'll come back as soon as I'm done. All right guys, I'm all cleaned up, camp's all packed up, hammock's done. I got everything off to the side behind the camera, ready to get out of here. I'm just doing my final, right behind me the fire's kind of going out, so I'm doing my final check on that. I gotta splash some water up on the fire, and I'm basically ready to go. So I had a lot of fun out here, great adventure, and like I said, I would really like to hear some comments about the possible writing, book, journal style, whatever. Let me know what you guys think about that. And I actually forgot, I did do a very small bit of writing last night. Probably about 50 words maybe, just a couple paragraphs. I'm going to throw that up on my Instagram. So that's Lone Wolf Wild Camping. The link is in the description of all my videos, so if you want to have a peek at that, jump on Instagram and have a quick read. So as well as photos from this trip, those will be up. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I'd like to thank you for coming along on this adventure, and to everybody new, I should address that now actually. All the new subscribers, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining, thank you for following, thank you for being a part of the adventures, as well as you continuing subscribers and viewers. So, I got kids to get home to. I got to get cleaned up. I got a lot of gear that's got to get hung and dried, and I got to start planning the next adventure. So, like I said, thank you for joining, thanks for watching, and everything packed up. Get some water on that fire, and I'm out of here. Alright guys, see you in the next one.